That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to GWR Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, April 20th, 2026. Almost said, never mind. But,
Can I make a funny real quick?
yep.
Yeah,
Warren, we
I was
stayed
going
at-
to comment on we got
Well,
the
we
white
stayed at-
oval in here.
Well, we stayed at the motel there at Red Roof Inn, and you know what they got in the vicinity of Red Roof Inn? They got the vinyl and weed store, and then the other weed store. We spelled the weed store this morning, 420. You walk
Yeah.
around.
That's what I almost, instead of April 20th, I about almost said 420.
Oh, it was right over there.
Just say it. Just say it. We're all living in it.
Yeah,
I guess you can reintroduce us now.
yeah, when we started the show there, I thought the white Obafemi's back here in the back area. He was strutting there.
I'm doing more of a little more of the neck, not so much the.
Well, hope everybody had a good weekend. A lot of good wrestling shows happened independently. I know that for sure. There were some good shows. And then also had WrestleMania, a very polarizing WrestleMania. We'll touch on that a little bit. And then, Chris, let's go ahead and bring our special guest in. We'll let him sit in and he can hear the Marcus Fine Wrestling Report. Got Reggie Edwards.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me back. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
It's only been like 2 months, but still, it feels longer.
He's a big
Every
part of
Monday without you
WCWO.
is a lonely Monday, so.
Okay.
I was gonna say it must be a slow news day if I'm the special guest. You guys usually have people better than me on here. I'm honored though. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the Marcus Fine Independent Wrestling Report, and then we'll talk to you some. Marcus.
Sounds good.
All right, I got a lot of stuff to cover. On our prayer requests, we got Calamity Jane, which is a friend of the podcast from Kentucky. She is recovering from surgery that she had today. And NGW Superfan Bev still needs our prayers. WCWO's Hannah needs our prayers. And AACW's ring crew and photographer Alyssa, she lost her great-grandmother sometime here recently and is in Arkansas or coming back from Arkansas. So prayers for her for the loss of her great-grandmother and travels. Okay, birthdays. Today, Jason Maple's birthday is today. An Emerge Superfan Irving Stalker's birthday is today. Zay Gates' birthday is on the 21st. Nope. Zay Gates' birthday is on the 22nd. Zach Nova's girlfriend Allison's birthday is on the 21st. Kentucky guy Adrian Alexander's birthday is on the 22nd. IK3's birthday is on the 22nd. Kenneth James's birthday is on the 24th. Kentucky and Tennessee guy Chris Crow's birthday is on the 24th. Kayla Hoffman's birthday is on the 25th. Jeff Landis' birthday is on the 26th. And ZJK's birthday is on the 26th. So prayers to anybody that needs them, and happy birthday if we missed you. So, all right. Am I big? I am big. All right. Yeah, we'll get into that here, KJ, in just a minute. Happy birthday this week, buddy. All right, here we go. Another shirt from the Hogan store. This is my favorite by far.
Oh, that's a cool.
That's sweet.
Sweet.
And I got one more to go, and that'll be next week. But yep, this is my favorite out of all of them.
That's awesome.
I didn't have this one in my size, so I'll go with my collection. So anyhow, all right, I'm going to cover the 2 shows that I was not at. We was not able to hit WCWO on Friday. My granddaughter graduates in the next month. We had to do some give and takes, make sure we hit PopCon and everything. So we had to do some work on Friday. So but we should be back at the Dub this Friday. That's the plan. Okay, thanks to our good buddy Steve Butler, because Wes is in here, but he didn't send me nothing, so Steve Butler guarantees.
Wes, come on, man. What are we doing, Wes?
So
oh, wait, he wasn't on the show. My bad.
Oh, that's it.
He doesn't know what happened.
WCWO at the Outlaw Arena on Friday the 17th. Zay Gates made a quick workout of Cameron Cross.
Yeah.
Phoenix and Mark Magnus expressed their dissatisfaction of the outcome of their match last month at March Madness. Magnus said Phoenix can fight him in any kind of match next week. Phoenix vowed to take the Gunslinger title off Mark Magnus, but on his time. Brody Bodkins and Rampage, and this version of Rampage was Kurt Busiek and the Pharaoh King. They defeated Andre Stray and Slaughterhouse. That was his match of the night. Then Reggie's favorite person, Gabriella Roseward, plugged the sponsors for upcoming shows in Lebanon and Comic-Con, and Reggie cut her off by saying nobody wants to see her at Comic-Con. Then Reggie introduced Pogo. Eric Onyx interrupted the interview and challenged Pogo, and Gabby made the match official. Pogo pinned Eric Onyx. Then Johnny Blaze attacked Pogo. Phoenix pinned ZK. Zach Nova came to the ring pissed off about not having a match at the end of the month. Reggie came out and gave him a match against the returning, get ready, the returning Logan Myers is back.
Yes.
Ruthless Domination defeated the Russians by DQ, and afterwards Rampage
I'm glad to see Myers back.
I'm sorry.
We all are.
I was glad to see Logan Myers back.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
I know one person who's not. We'll get into that in a little bit.
And then Highlight Reel defeated Maliko, Zach Nova, and Jay Steele. At the end of the Jay Steele had enough of the treatment that he endured during the match, and he blasted both his partners with super kicks. So it sounded like a fun night at the Dub. Steve Butler was at WCWO in Lebanon on Saturday. Mark Magnus pinned Andre Stray. He retained the WCWO Gunslinger title. His match of the night, and if KJ's still in here, the James Gang, which is Jordan James and Kenneth James, with Skull Crusher defeated Jay Steele and defeated the Steel Cyclones, which is Jay Steele and CJ Cyclone. Zay Gates pinned ZJK. Will Asher pinned Phoenix with T.S. Wiley. He retained the Thorntown Festival title. Rampage, and this version of Rampage is Kurt Busiek and Eric Onyx. They defeated Christian Cash and Cameron Cross to retain the WCWO tag titles. A guy proposed to his girlfriend right before the main event, and Maliko blew a gasket and insulted them throughout the main event. And then Maliko pinned Timmy Jackson to retain the WCW Outlaw title. Now that shit would be fucking deep, I'm telling you. Okay, Kelly and I.
Was you there for that, Reggie?
What?
Was you there for that show?
I was not, but that sounds amazing.
So Kelly and I hit two really good shows this weekend. AACW's Breaking Point, Sharpsville, Indiana on Saturday. They started out with needing a new general intern manager and give the fans the option to vote for three people: Wild Thing, Shoot Machine, and yours truly. And during the first half of the show, all three of us can assert our powers however we see fit. So I was a co-general manager for 4 matches. So
that sounds awesome.
I put that in my resume. So Brody Bodkins defeated Johnny Blaze. He retained the EEC title. Jensen defeated Lucy B. Sweet via countout because Lucy never came to the ring. And here we go. What was supposed to be Tate Manson and Nerd ended up being Tate Manson and Elijah Arrows. They tried to win the tag team titles via cheating, but the temporary co-intern general manager, and that happened to be me, refused to ring the bell and ordered the referee to restart the match, and Oh So Delicious defeated Manson and Arrows to retain the AACW tag team titles. I think Kelly found out what was going on and called Nerd and told him not to show up. She denies that, but I think that's exactly what happened. So
that's quite possible.
Being her wrestling boyfriend at all. She says, no, you don't want to start this. So, Ajax defeated Paris McQueen with special referee Honey Badger to retain the AACW ladies title. Hysterics defeated D-Tanner Kelly with Jake Elliott, and you missed a powerbomb on the Legos because Jake Elliott was in my way. So, Jake Elliott, if he's in here, asshole. And wasn't the first time somebody screwed a picture this weekend. We'll get into that a little bit here.
I'm sorry for every Friday I'm ringside, Marcus.
No, because I'll just smack you with Kelly's K to be done with it, but I was too far away from Big Kelly. Juice WRLD defeated Cruiser with Jensen and retained the AACW US title. They retired that belt, and Juice was awarded the brand new AACW All-American title. And in the main event, what can I say about the main event? John Hato defeated Damien DeVille. He is the new AACW heavyweight champion. The reason this happened is because Ricky Gunn showed up in Sharpsville and attacked SWS and Damien DeVille while they were making their way around the ring. I mean, beat the living hell out of it. They had to get all the referees out there. Half the locker room showed up out there trying to break them two up, and Ricky went running out the front door. And Damien then lost to John Hato, and we now have a new champion. But it was awesome. Awesome. It was as close to a riot as I've seen in a long time. Everybody running over there and it got pretty hairy. So they got a match set up for a cage at BMW on May 2nd, and we will have special guest Sal next week to go over that. So,
Yes.
But yeah, Ricky made his way all the way to Sharpsville to attack Damien DeVille. Okay, then on Sunday, Kelly and I drove over to Danville, Illinois for ABW's April No Fool, Sunday the 19th. I'll try to get through some of these names because there's some people in here I wasn't familiar with. Devontae Knox and Oliver Kane defeated the Highlight Reel and Jay Leone and Brady Campbell in a tag team trios match. Damian Jackson defeated Juan Sanchez. T.Y. Ice defeated Mark Magnus thanks to Christian Cash. He is the new Keys to the 210 champion. The Academy of Fire Arts defeated Breakin' Berry. I think that's how that team's called.
Breakin' Berry, yep.
Okay.
B-U-R-Y, berry, so like barium, Breakin' Barium.
Okay.
I thought it was like the fruit, like berries.
No, berry. B-U-R-Y.
That makes a lot more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah.
I thought it was like the cereal, Frankenberry.
Yeah, right. Like, that could be fun too.
Yeah.
No, we got Ricky Guns in the chat. Yeah, look at him. He shows
That's
up.
not fun for anybody.
Up here. Let's see. Jimmy Carrot with Basil defeated Calvin Coco with IK3. Seth Nova defeated Zay Gates and Eric Onyx. Miguel Murphy in a fatal four-way to win the vacated No Limits title. And in a damn good main event here, too, Cobra defeated Matt Cage. That was 20 years in the making.
Oh, wow.
During the intermission, I guess they were going to present a cake to Zay Gates.
Can we move on? Let's just go on.
No. I want to hear where this goes.
There's no pictures of it. You're going to have to go this way because, again, somebody got in the freaking way. Thank you, Eric Onyx.
There are pictures out there. So.
Yeah, but I took.
Because there's no pictures, I have to hear what happened.
Yes.
Well, old Warren, who's general manager down there, decides it was wasting time, which it was intermission. I don't know what time they were wasting. It was intermission. That's
End of intermission. We had to move on. End of intermission.
You're on break at your job. It's your time. So it was his time for Christian Cash to award Zay Gates a cake. Warren ended up tasting cake, and everybody smelled like it. So it was pretty awesome. And this
cake was it?
Was it at least a good cake?
Vanilla.
It was a good cake.
Was it an ice cream cake or?
No, it was vanilla, and it was just tons of frosting. It took forever for me to pick the frosting out of my hair, my ears, and my eyes.
You know that's not where cake goes, right?
Tell that to Zay. He's the one that smashed in my faces. KJ was holding me back.
If you would have opened up for the choo-choo train of the helicopter, it wouldn't have gone there. But no, you got to be difficult.
And you know what? So because of his actions, this guy down here chit-chatting, got to talk about it. Yeah. Well, guess what? In May, I'm taking the May show off. I'm not even going to be there. So everyone can go see what kind of show Kenneth James can put together as the general manager and find out that you're going to miss
that
me.
sounds horrible too. So the fans win. So since you're not there, the fans all win, is what you're saying. It'll be a great show.
Just say he was taking his ball and going home.
Yeah.
For May, I'm taking a vacation day in May. I'm taking a vacation day from AVW, and it's already been approved by Human Resources. It's a paid day off, so they're still going to pay me.
All right. All right,
So as
CM
a
Moore.
general manager, you're going to abandon your show?
Because,
Ball,
because the other general manager seems to think he can do it. Okay, well, come on, Reggie. You know how this is. You've had the power struggle. You know
Can I find a way to coexist? I don't just
day-to-day.
leave. I don't just leave and leave everybody with the bad
I'm
GM.
gonna let everyone see and miss. You don't miss, until something's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like the butterfly, let it go, it comes back, it's supposed to be.
Don't bring Frozen into this. You put the misery. You really do put the misery in War and Misery, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So anyhow, okay, we'll go back to this main event. Now we're all done talking about Cake Boy up there.
Hey.
Anyway, this main event, the Cobra versus
I'll start a hashtag.
in the contention to be a match of the year. They give it all out. At the end, the thing was they were supposed to shake hands, win, lose, draw, whoever did it. Matt Cage decided no, he ain't playing that game, and he about walked out the front door until that team showed up. What team was it? Hang on a minute.
Marcus, if you'd like, I'll let you know. It's Black Excellence.
Okay, Black Excellence showed up. It looked like Mr. Cage was going to help the Cobra, but ended up clocking him, and then beat the hell out of him. Here comes Devontae Knox, beat the hell out of him. Trying to get into it with the security guard, which really wouldn't have taken a lot to take that guy out, but anyhow, and all hell broke loose. So we almost had 2 riots this weekend. It was pretty good.
Ooh,
pretty good.
nice.
And you guys are you were looking at, even though I'm no longer a general manager, there is 3 general managers sitting in this room from over the weekend. So even though mine was only 4, and I forgot to announce that Shooting with Shane took the title from me. So he won. I came in second.
Oh.
And
Who come in last? Who come in last on the voting?
Wild Thing came in last.
Yeah, because he stuck.
Figured it out.
Can I still vote for you? Is there still time?
If I could take out Shooting with Shane, I'm the next one in line.
Yeah.
How did you lose the Shoot with Shane?
I don't know. He must kiss Bud better than I did, because since I didn't kiss any.
It's
But the
because
guy
Marcus
selling tickets
Marcus
for
never
everybody.
spray painted anything.
What's that?
Because Marcus has never spray painted anything.
No, so I never get high on spray paint, so I don't know.
Oh shit!
But yeah, the guy at the door kept telling him, vote for me, vote for me. I did pretty good, but I didn't win enough. So that's my report. I don't think I have anything else. I hope I did those shows well, because they were very well done. Both of them were very well done.
Yeah. You did good.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestling this weekend.
Yeah.
On a WrestleMania weekend, there was a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Well, guys, let's go to our guest host, Reggie Edwards. He's got some questions for us, but I asked you guys to have one question for Reggie.
Oh, boy.
So let's do that first. And I will go first in case you guys need a second. Top 3 or 5 events that you've covered. Because I know you do a lot of photography, you do a lot of different stuff. What's your top events that you've covered?
Strictly just wrestling?
Anything.
Oh God. Oh boy. Oof. SummerSlam 2023. So I got to photograph that one. Lady Gaga. You said top 3?
You can do 5 if you want.
Oh boy. Okay. Pink is up there. Let's see here. Let's see here. That's 3. We're gonna go Trans-Siberian Orchestra is up there. I'm gonna go. See, who did they play? Iowa versus Kentucky in the Music City Bowl, because I got to watch my Iowa Hawkeyes win a bowl game in person on the field.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes. And then Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut.
Okay. Marcus, your question for Reggie. Right?
Go ahead and move on here.
Okay. Warren, your question for Reggie.
All righty. I'm going to give you 3 magazines. Rank them in order of which ones you'd like to see your picture on the most. Got Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated, Rolling Stone.
Oh, thank God you didn't say Playboy.
I was just play girl.
Hey, no one want to see that. What were my options? Was Time Magazine the other two?
Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated, and Rolling Stone. Which ones? Rank them in the ones you like, the pictures you take. Which ones you'd like to see? Like, which one would you like to see most? Magazine the most, and so forth.
Rolling Stone, Sports Illustrated, Time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Because Rolling Stone concerts is what I got started in, what I still do full time. So to build this up from the ground up from literally nothing, that'd be like the mecca. And Sports Illustrated, obviously, I photograph sports, so that's up there. But then Time, I don't really read Time. I don't know what Time actually is, and Time is something that I don't typically do well with. So that's going to be at the bottom.
Time Magazine used to be a huge magazine. I don't know if it's near. I don't think it's near what it was, but at one time it was.
Yeah,
Probably
I mean,
number one magazine.
I don't do a lot with news or current events, so that'd be the most unrealistic. Sports Illustrated is actually probably a realistic thing for me, but Rolling Stone would be that would probably mean the most.
Okay, Chris, let you go next.
Well, yeah, you just kind of mentioned about you doing shooting the concerts and stuff. What do you enjoy doing more? Do you like doing the concerts, sporting events, or the wrestling shows? Which events do you enjoy doing more, or maybe what's the biggest difference between like doing a wrestling show and maybe a music event?
Sure, that's probably the easier one to answer because when it comes to which one I enjoy more, I like certain ones. I like certain aspects of each one more than others for different reasons. With concerts, we're there's a lot more restrictions on us when it comes to concerts. It's fun because you're right up against the stage. Like I could reach up and touch Corey Taylor from Slipknot or, any of you're that close. You're literally right underneath them. So being that close is a different kind of adrenaline. With sports, you're right there. You're on the field, you're on the court, you're on the baseline, you're on the sideline. But it's a lot more, I guess it's more of an equal playing field when it comes to sports. When it comes to music and concerts, it's very much, a lot of it's about who you know for what gets you your opportunities a lot of the time. Certain publications or outlets will get more access just because of who they are. But when it comes to sports, I'll be standing or sitting right next to CBS, ABC, ESPN. You're at the press conferences. It's a lot more secure. Security is a lot tighter. When I did the Final Four, it was very, very, very security level for obvious reasons. And then with wrestling, it really depends on the level you're doing. Obviously, the indie level here in Indiana is a lot different than doing WWE or AEW for various reasons. But, getting to shoot WWE or AEW or going to a WWE media junket or press conference and interviewing John Cena or Triple H or Cody or any of those wrestlers is just seeing yourself on WWE TV holding a WWE microphone is just surreal. It isn't something I ever thought I would see. And that's more of like I guess you could say like a dream come true moment, like having access to WWE. And like an Elimination Chamber, I was sitting right next to Sports Illustrated in the press box. So they're all different for different reasons. And with WWE, every event is different. When you shoot Monday Night Raw, you're on the floor, you're in a normal seat. When you do the PLEs, you're usually in the press box or really high up, and it's a little bit different. So, but they're all very different for different reasons. There's the things I like more or dislike more about each one, and it's it's a vast difference between each one. I could talk for hours just about that.
Okay. All right, let's go to Marcus's question.
All right. Well, Kelly's got hers in the chat.
I didn't see her. Oh, it's a tie. You're both
You
awesome.
say that.
Yeah, it's a tie because neither of you are war and misery, so you're both in a tie for first place.
Damn.
Well,
And here I was happy to have you on the show.
I'm just saying, the top general managers is me and Marcus in a tie for first.
and I only had it for 4 matches, and I'm still above you, I guess. So,
Great job. Yes. And then after us would be probably William Regal. Then in I want to say number 8 or 9, maybe 20 would be Gabrielle Rosewood. And then you're probably tied with her War of Misery. You two are probably tied for worst GMs of all time.
Well, I guess we're not going to have Reggie on anymore. Nice having you on. Take care. Any questions you got to say to me? Suck it, okay?
Hey, this is a family show.
You never said it was a family show.
You're just not in the family. That's the
Okay, Marcus.
okay, this isn't my question, but you say you're getting ready to photograph tonight. What you going to photograph tonight?
Seven Dust.
Ooh,
That'd be a good one.
Yep.
Okay.
Seven Dust with Atreyu. Yep. Then oddly enough, Wednesday is Soldier Boy. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
That was my reaction when I got that approval, Warren. It's like, what? Okay. I put it forward as a joke. I didn't think I'd get it.
All right, we're ready?
Yep.
Okay. In wrestling, it has to be wrestling.
Okay.
The most memorable oh shit or what the hell moment you have experienced.
Me personally, my let's see, that I was a part of or that I got to watch.
However you want to play it, whether you seen something go way off skit or a fan acting like whatever, just like when you oh shit or what the hell. What are them type of things?
There's been a few. One of them that wasn't necessarily great but I was also fairly proud of was, it was recent. We had a segment, and I want to say it was Mark Magnus and Mike Noble last year, potentially, where Mark came out and chased Noble off.
Where are you going with this? Yeah.
And you might have been at the show. Fans hate Mike Noble so much that a fan actually got up and blocked Mike Noble from running out of the building so that Mark Magnus could get his hands on him.
He actually grabbed him. He grabbed him.
Yeah, we had to escort the fan. And it wasn't, as management, was not a good moment. But as somebody who is on kind of the creative team, knowing that obviously Mike is the one that puts what we creatively put together into action, knowing that as a team, we were able to help him generate that much heat to where that's really what wrestling is all about, guys, is connecting with fans in a good way or a bad way and making them feel something either for you or against you that make them love you or make them hate you. And that right there showed that job was accomplished. And also, there's just nothing likable about that guy, even just on a personal. Just nothing about Mike Noble is likable. He's just a terrible person altogether. Another one would be a surreal moment. Would be standing across the ring from Joey Owens in a match, and that was one of those. What is this? Like this is my life now, going everywhere. And Marcus, Joey's career, he's been everywhere, and to be in a ring across from him, not just once but twice in a match is it's weird to me, because I don't come from wrestling. I didn't grow up in it. And so to be in a ring across from him was surreal. And then obviously I won that match fair and square all by myself with no outside help whatsoever, as we all remember.
I honestly don't remember.
There were a few people in the ring at the time, but Jordan James, Mike Noble, and Phoenix had absolutely nothing to do with me winning that match. But honestly, on a non-selfish level, seeing guys like Mark Magnus get to the level of popularity that he's gotten to, or the success that the Two Loud Strays had together as a tag team, you know, seeing things come together and work that you had a hand in putting together, it's kind of this surreal thing, you know. And then, you know, the other stuff, like just interviewing major wrestlers, like Thunderstorm, the first Thunderstorm show, you know, coming into WCWO when I did in 2020, in probably the darkest time the company's ever had, for multiple reasons. Seeing this company grow to the point where we packed 1,000 people into a show 2 miles away from SmackDown, while SmackDown was going on, and seeing guys like Chavo Guerrero and Ken Anderson on our show. I won't say specifically what I said in the locker room before the show, because I want to keep that in that moment. But you know, you guys, especially Marcus, I think Chris and Tony came around when everything was happening. To see that night happen was an emotional one, and that was surreal. It meant a lot to see us get to that point. And then PopCon and Comic-Con, the Circle City Classic, seeing our ring set up outside of Lucas Oil Stadium. Just there's a lot of surreal stuff I've been able to see that I don't even want to say was like a bucket list thing or something. Like it was never even a thought that would never even cross my mind that could happen one day, considering, you know, where the company was at when I came in. And we're just getting started, guys.
I agree. I got a question. Do you think, because it kind of seems that way to me, and I could be a little bit off, but it seems like once you guys did that first Comic-Con, it seemed like things really kind of took off from there.
Yeah, it did.
Do you think that had a lot to do with it?
Yeah, I do. It's one of those things, I think, was Joey likes to think outside the box. That's one thing I love about working with him is, you know, I'll get a phone call from him. Like, one of my favorite phone calls was, gotta come up with a promo for the Hannah House. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, we got access to the Hannah House. So I'm like, at that point, I'm like, of course we do. You know, it was one of those things, that first Comic-Con, where Joey saw an opportunity to fill a hole that hadn't really been covered in a very long time when it comes to conventions, at least here in Indianapolis. And it was one of those, like, you never know what the answer is always going to be no unless you try. And if you try, it could be yes, but if you don't, you'll never know. He just took a shot, and they said yes. They took a chance on us. And then the second year we did it, and I think that the PopCon people, I don't know how it worked or how it happened, but that first year we did Comic-Con was so well put together, and we brought such a big production with us that it was, you know, it made people like Gabrielle Rosewood wish they were a part of it, you know. And so that really opened a lot of people's eyes to WCWO is more than just a company with a curtain and a ring. You know, when you get WCWO in any capacity, you're getting a full-on production. lights, cameras, multiple camera angles, commentary, everything. And the production we put on that first year, I think, opened up a lot of eyes. And then PopCon came on board. Then when people saw you got PopCon and Comic Con, which are two very big deals, more people started looking, more people started watching. So I do think that first Comic Con is what opened the door for a lot of the stuff that's been happening over the last year or two. It's only a matter of time until Gabrielle Rosewood gets those tomatoes thrown at her. It's just a matter of time, Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, it seemed that way to me. Just from outside looking in, that's why I asked that question, because you're there behind the scenes. If that was kind of a start in it, because it seemed that way. We was there at that first Comic Con, and then after that, it just seemed like things just started growing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it wasn't like a long-term plan to be like, oh, well, let's start here and then go here and here. Like a lot of these places reached out to us,
yes.
And I still get phone calls from Joey. He's like, oh, so-and-so is interested. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's unreal. But yeah, and that first year was special. We made a point to still have Don Basher be a focal point, be a big part of it, of the presentation. That's one thing I love about WCWO is we've never once forgotten where it started and who started it.
Yeah, that's definitely sure. Okay, Reggie, we asked you to have some questions for us.
Yeah, I realize that now. After we went live. Marcus, I've always wanted to ask you this. What got you interested in wrestling at the very beginning? Because you've been watching this. Yeah, I think you were at WCWO's first show. And,
No.
You weren't there? I thought you were.
25th year in October will be my 25th year at WCW.
Okay, close. What got you interested in wrestling in the beginning? Like, what made you fall in love with this?
Well, actually, it started with the Rocky movies in 1982 because I watched Rocky 1 and then I watched Rocky 2. Rocky 3 wasn't out yet. And I wanted more of that good versus evil, and it wasn't on anywhere else. And I was down at my grandmother's, who was a big Dick the Bruiser fan, and she watched it every Sunday religiously, and I just happened to be there. It's like, oh, what's this? I sat down and watched it, and the rest is history.
Nice.
Fell in love with it instantly. I never dreamt I'd ever be as long as I am either. I mean, I was at some of Basher's shows when he were in that apartment complex there on Washington Avenue behind the Kmart, Grassy Creek Apartments. They ran the old Rodamata Inn down on Emerson Avenue. And in Lafayette, to think that I'd be part of WCWO, be a part of 1,000 people. It takes to the guys here help get me in business. And when you guys played that little thing at the Thunderstorm, the Basher tribute, damn near rolling off my face. It's like, damn. It's like, he'd be proud.
I didn't want to leave that night, man. I remember the show was over and the only people left in the building was me and Skull Crusher and a couple other people. And I just remember I was just standing in the room when everybody was gone and I just had a moment,
One of them, what the hell?
Oh, Kelly.
Yeah,
I got a question. What's that?
She was trying to make the moves on me. Her first show before we were actually dating. So
that's how it is with my wife. Yeah,
I commentated at Comic-Con. I seen in the same building. I seen Flair and Sting and the Road Warriors and Powers of Pain. I never ever thought that ever happened.
Wow.
In the convention center now, I'm commentating in a building that I seen the Powers of Pain and Legion of Doom and Flair and Sting and the Fantastic and the Midnight Express and Jim and Cornette, and it's like, this is
that's
unreal.
awesome.
And I got a question. Everybody, I'm putting this out there. I've already had some talks this weekend. Whenever we get back to Lucas Oil Stadium, I don't care what you have planned. I'm going to be at Lucas Oil Stadium. So
I got you.
Don't put me on your shows. I'm not available that day.
Warren, where do you get off? Why are you such a terrible? Why are you just such a terrible person? Like I've never been as hated as you. Like, what is it going to take for you to come to the good side of things? Just stop being mean to people, man.
It will never be because of many reasons. Number one, Michigan born, bred, and raised. We're going to do it our way
God!
all
Oh
the
man,
time.
you're a
Number
Wolverines fan.
two,
That's the
no, I'm not
problem.
a Wolverines fan. I'm an Arizona Wildcat.
Oh, that's even worse.
Number two, by dictionary definition, I am a bastard. So I've got a lot. And number three, Scottish, Irish,
What?
German, and Native American in me. So I got all the
I
bad
definitely
vibes.
believe the German side.
So what you're saying is you have a drinking problem.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't call it a problem.
As long as he gets some, he's fine.
yeah, hey, I can handle mine, so.
All right, Chris and Tony. What
Okay.
what made you want to start up GSR and GWR? What made you start this whole thing up? What made you want to do it?
Chris? Because he started it.
Honestly, the reason I started, I started having some help. I was a plumber. I started having health issues and was laid off work and was just sitting at the house. And I'm a real big sports fan, so all I was doing was watching sports. If I wasn't watching, I was on my phone following it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And
Right.
big fan of Pat McAfee's show. Would watch it every day. So I talked to my cousin. I said, "Man, we should start something." And we started it. And then we went to watch DCCW with my dad. It was the first Bearcat Rumble.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when we met all the WCWO guys and stuff. And I just went up to Mike King and said, "Hey, we started this podcast." And I said, I think we could do commentary and film it, and I think it'd come out good. And he said, "Yeah, you can come to the next show." And he gave us an opportunity. And then from there, we got to do the WCWO Veterans Show. Mike Lee invited us to that, and then after that, it just kept going and going. And we owe a lot to DCCW and WCWO for all the other promotions we've got to do. Because if it went for you guys, we wouldn't been at any of the wrestling shows. So, but yeah, it all started because I got sick and I needed something to do. I was at home, just sitting there bored, probably depressed, and just decided to follow something I love and start talking about it.
Nice. Tony, what made you want to get involved with it, man? Just you saw Chris having fun and wanted to join in?
It really wasn't planned. He was doing it with, like I said, his cousin and his best friend, all named Gonzalez, all Gonzalez. So that's why they called it Gonzo'S Sports Rooms. So you had three guys all named Gonzalez. I wasn't involved. I went along to go to watch the wrestling shows. I was just going. I was just sitting with them watching the shows, and then just one by one, the other two guys. The show that Walter Buckley did at the before the Super Bowl one night, which was a great show. It just happened to be 18 hours long. We're sitting in the back at the Dub, which was very cold. It's February, the night before the Super Bowl, and after that, it was so dang cold back there. We never seen my nephew, his cousin, ever again. As far as
he's alive, right? He's alive. Okay.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay.
We see him, but not no more podcasting. He did. That was his final show. And then unfortunately, the other gentleman, Eric Gonzalez, was working construction and came home one day and was feeling ill, went to the hospital, and he had blood clots in his leg. And 2 hours later, it went to his lungs and heart, and he was dead. He died at a very young age. Yeah, at the hospital. It happened in a matter of 5 or 6 hours. Feeling bad, hospital, and gone. So, but I got started because they kind of fizzled out. I've always loved wrestling, and so Chris had me come aboard, and then we just started doing more and more shows, and and having fun, having a good time.
What?
Brought Mark, got Marcus brought in.
Yeah, that was big. Yeah.
Yep,
Who,
definitely.
who are some of the biggest? I don't want to say favorite, but who are some of the bigger names you guys have covered? And Warren, I know obviously for you it's Zay Gates. He's your favorite. You love that. You love that Zay Gates. And Mark Magnus, but that's a conversation for another. How can you not love those guys? They're great. But who are some of the bigger names you guys have covered?
Chris, go ahead.
Are you talking about and guys that have been on TV or like the independent guys?
Big to you, whether it's TV guys or indie guys that you've always seen that you finally got to cover in person. It's really objective who all we consider to be big.
Yeah, some of my favorite was we got to see. I got to meet Mick Foley at the one DCCW show there in Jay County. That was pretty cool, and I learned that, like I didn't know that he had wrestled or worked with Basher and stuff like that. So to get to learn that was cool. Meeting the Godfather was cool. I got to sit outside and partake in some other things with the Godfather and talk to him for about an hour. So that was cool. Jake the Snake Roberts. I actually met him before we started doing the wrestling shows, but I got to sit outside of a wrestling show I was just at as a fan and talk to him for probably an hour. And
Nice.
That was something I'll always remember. It's like independent wise, I've said this a million times, but my favorite and the best one I've seen is IK3. I love watching him. I actually said this earlier today, but I go to a show and we see he's there. I always tell Dad, well, this show is worth coming to because if he's on the show, you're going to get your money's worth no matter what.
Because you never know what he's going to do. Like,
yes. And he's so good
even
at
backstage, we have no idea.
Good at working the crowd. Like he can.
Yeah.
It don't matter if he's a heel or a face or what he's doing. He's just so good at working the crowd.
Yeah.
It's fun.
He makes the person he's working with better too.
Yeah, for sure. And who can forget that top rope tombstone he gave Juan Sanchez onto a bunch of light tubes?
Oh yeah. And then I've always liked watching Rachel Armstrong, Dex in the highlight reel because they were all like, well, Rachel, when we first started, the first show we done commentary on, Rachel was like her 6th or 7th match or something like that. She hadn't been wrestling very long. Zay, all the guys were kind of just getting started. And so getting to see them guys from like then to now, that's been one of the coolest things is to see progress that these guys made since we started doing it, because a lot of them were rookies, and then now to see where they're at, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I remember when Rachel started training. And I guess those would be some real moments. Going back earlier, seeing the highlight reel and Rachel on Ring of Honor TV. And honestly, with the highlight reel, I'm glad Joey was able to be at that show as well to see that in person. Stuff like that. And then hear a WCWO chant in an AEW arena. Not an ROH chant, not an AEW chant, WCWO chant.
That's cool. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, real quick, I just want to say, because Chris has said this before, but he didn't say it this time. Meeting the Powers of Pain and backstage and hearing them tell stories. There was a bunch of us back there, but tell stories about Andre the Giant and stuff like that was really pretty awesome.
Yeah. Wasn't Demolition on that show too?
Yes.
Yeah. How about seeing Warlord on the Hall of Fame? Huh? That was cool.
I to say that.
Yeah.
Warlord and Jimmy Hart, all from Retromania, was on the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yes.
And then getting to meet Kurt Angle. That was something that was cool because I followed Kurt Angle through amateur wrestling and everything, Olympic wrestling, and then WWE. So getting to meet him and getting to see my son's face when my son Austin got to meet Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
he was on top of the world that day, getting to meet Kurt Angle. So that was cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, guys. Won't we move on real quick and let's talk a little WrestleMania? I'm gonna let Reggie, our special guest. Yeah, I'm gonna let Reggie go first. I assume you've seen it or some of it at least.
Yeah.
One thing that you liked, one thing you didn't like.
Loved the Punk Roman match. Absolutely loved that match for so many different reasons. Let's see. I like how they were able to save the Cody Randy match and really save that story in that match and how they saved it. I really enjoyed how they pulled that together and kind of pulled that out of their ass. I did not like how early it got over both nights. Like it was over by 9:30 both nights, and part of that just didn't feel like WrestleMania, you know. Especially night one didn't feel like WrestleMania, maybe because it started so early and got over so early. That would probably be the one thing. And then I kind of wish they would have given the women's matches more time on night one. You know, I really wish they would have done that. But overall, there wasn't a lot to dislike about it. It was still 2 great nights, 2 good shows. There's always going to be stuff with every wrestling show that could be better or that you don't like, but overall, it was one of the better Manias, I think. Matches were short, though.
Chris, what about you? Something you liked and something you didn't like?
I agree with Reggie. I love the Punk and Reigns match. I told you last night after it was over, I thought that was the match of the weekend. I thought that was the best match of the weekend. I really liked the Cody Rhodes and Orton match too. I thought I liked the way that the interference was what really decided the match. I like they done most of the interference before the match started. I like the way they put that together. I agree. The one, especially the Liv Morgan and I'm drawing a blank. That match was way too short.
Stephanie Becker.
Yeah, Kerr and Morgan. Like it was a good match. They were going at it, and it just boom ended.
It was like 6 minutes. It was like 8 minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah, that could at least win another good 5-6 minutes, even maybe longer than that. So that was my big. But yeah, I kind of agree. That was the thing. It seemed like a lot of the matches were shorter than what we usually get for a Mania. But I thought I really enjoyed the show. I gave Saturday probably around the 8.5, and I had last night at a 9. So I thought it was a pretty good weekend of wrestling. But I loved the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys, I love the main event too, but I'm going to go with the way they started off the show with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. And then you go into the ladder match, and then the way the show ended. The middle was pretty good, but that show last night seemed like WrestleMania more than the first night.
Yeah,
I mean, it seemed like it had a bigger feel to it, at least for me. Just some of the one match. I know a lot of people talked about the times of the matches. I really didn't notice about something being too short, except for the Stephanie Becker Liv Morgan match. That was one that that match shouldn't have ended there. To me, the other matches, it didn't bother me. I didn't have any issues with any other match as far as time. The only one I might have had issue with is because I'm a little stickler. Sometimes I don't think a match needs to go 33 minutes. Any match needs to go 33 minutes. You could cut 5 minutes off at 28 minutes. And I'm a guy who watched AEW, so believe me, I know that. And as far as the early start time, listen, I'm happy it started at 6 and over 10 instead of starting at 8 p.m. and over 1:45. So,
True.
I'm used to Mania going to at least 10:30.
Yes. Yeah. Look, when it's 7:45 and there's like 1 or 2 matches left, it's just too. That's the only thing. It's too early.
We're like, it's 7:30. There's only 2 matches left. Like this is gonna be over by 9.
They saved it with Danhausen though.
Oh, Danhausen was awesome.
That was great. Awesome. I did like that. But then, hey, I thought it was funny. I saw the AEW people today hating on Danhausen.
That's because half of WrestleMania was AEW people. Half of Mania was AEW people that they figured out how to make work. So AEW is just bitter. Marcus.
I don't think he's seen it yet.
You're muted, Marcus.
No, I hadn't seen it yet because I was out on the road.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it yet. We'll give
no spoilers, guys. No spoilers.
I've talked a lot about WrestleMania this weekend without actually
sir.
watching WrestleMania this weekend. So
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Mr.
If
Misery.
it helps, Ryback is back.
Right back.
well, as well, I could just take along with Bree and Bella and Nikki and Paige and anybody else that's been on for 4,000
The
years.
Paige thing was cool, but I don't like that they put the tag titles on Paige and
like
Bree.
that
They
either.
didn't need them.
I think they should have stayed with with Nia
And Lash, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, yep.
Yep.
But it is what it is. Warren's having an aneurysm over here, so let's get past. How about we play a fun game? Let's see how long we can keep Warren from being able to talk.
See if his head explodes.
Be like
Okay, Warren.
Big Bang Theory, where he'll start getting these twitches. Like,
Yeah, like Sheldon. Okay,
Yes.
Warren.
That was my hate. I hated that tag match because first of all, like Marcus said, no one cares about the Bella twins. No one cares about them.
Oh,
They are legends in their own minds. So there, and then to bring Paige in when let's look, we got Blake Monroe in NXT, you got Saul Ruka in NXT, you've got Tatum Paxley in NXT, you've got a roster full of great women busting their ass in NXT, and you're gonna bring in a girl that is the equivalent of Kim Kardashian, who's famous for having a big butt and a sex tape, and take their spot in Mania.
you know
Sounds
why
like you
those?
really feel
You know
Warren.
what? You want to know why those women didn't get the spot on the card, Warren? Because you said they're all in NXT. They haven't been called up yet. Paige is out of
So
NXT.
Paige is keeping them down there by bringing them in. They easily could have. They
That's
easily
not
could
a
have brought
thing,
in-
Warren.
Imagine Blake Monroe coming out, taking Nikki Bella's spot with her attitude, the way they had. But now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You've got a Nikki Bella that isn't completely out of injury. You know, she's not horribly injured. So now you've got the tag belts on Paige and Bree. What are you going to do when Nikki's ready to wrestle?
It's going to be the
Heel
Freebird
turn.
rules. It's going to be the Freebird rules. They'll be able to switch in and out.
Yes.
But I felt it should have stayed on. It should have stayed with the champs.
Yeah, I agree there.
Because here's what's going to lead into my what I liked portion. And everyone can go back into time last year. One of the things I pounded on my desk on this show was they need fresh talent. And who was one of the people, guys, I used to pound this desk on that they need to bring up? Trick Williams. And they brought him in. They did his thing. He has a title, and he is bred for the moment. So that's what I'm saying is you bring them up. You've got to bring these young people in. You've got to start giving them. You're giving it to Oba. You've given it to Trick. You need to start because who knows how much longer Seth Rollins can stay pieced together. Roman Reigns has come out and said he's going to do some stuff this summer, so he's not going to part-time it.
He's gonna be
I'll tell you what I didn't. I'll tell you one thing I did not like. I didn't like how Paige signing got leaked and announced during the day, because I would have rather been surprised by that.
Surprised, yeah.
Now, granted, they didn't need the titles. If you were going to put them on somebody and switch them, Bailey and Lyra would have been a great choice to put the titles on. Would have been a great choice because Bailey didn't have that Mania moment last year, so to have her get that this year would have been amazing. But I think that they're setting the stage for a longer-term story with the Bella Twins and Paige by having the titles on those two, because when Nikki gets healthy, there's a guaranteed built-in story already ready to go. That's the only good thing that could come out of that, though.
And I'm surprised if what some of the dirt sheets say are true, and Bailey is where she's at with her contract, that they did not find a way to give her something to keep her around, because we know that she's got friends in that other promotion.
Yeah, but that may be why those reports may not be true then.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's because you do see one of the things that they tend to do is when some of those close people, a Sami Zayn, a Kevin Owens, when their contracts are close to coming up, they get put in really high profile stuff to get them to resign to prevent. I mean, it's strategic. It's strategic. It's I'm not saying it's a bad. It's being horrible. That's what you need to do.
Think about it this way, though. there are now enough people who have recently left to AEW in WWE that can tell the WWE wrestlers what it's really like there. That may keep them from going alone.
And vice versa. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, no promotion is perfect.
No.
And it really is. And we can talk about this and that and these people and how someone, they're screwing this person over because he's not getting a title. Well, maybe that individual's fine with what they're at. We don't know how they feel. That's what sort of bothers me. Some people are like, "Oh, you're holding this wrestler down because he should have a title," or they should. Well, maybe they don't want that. Maybe they're good for that.
See, my thing, I think people focus too much on titles. The main thing is if you're getting TV time, you're doing pretty damn good. There's only so many belts to go around. So that's just the way it's going to be. But if you're getting TV time, if you're getting that hey, right now Danhausen's doing pretty damn good. He probably ain't never going to sniff a belt or maybe bring back a hardcore belt or something.
How many matches has he wrestled since he's been in WWE?
One.
Yeah, look how over he is.
But here's the thing. He was over before AEW.
Yeah.
But AEW really didn't use
the
him.
magnifying glass that WWE gave him that put him on the map. I
let
knew
that
about
be
him before AEW, and I was like, because sorry, Reggie, he's from Detroit, so freaking I know.
I don't hold that against him. But hey, let that be a lesson to wrestlers, though. You don't have to wrestle every single show to get over.
Yeah.
And be over. Promos and storytelling and personality gets you over just as much, if not more, than your in-ring does a lot of the time. And I agree with Jeff. Miz and Danhausen are already mixing well.
His Danhausen's mind is so far ahead with what he's saying.
John Cena not being able to keep a straight face during that segment that kept busting out laughing. That even made it better.
Look, when you're walking around cursing people, you're going to be successful.
Well, we're watching the show, and I'm saying, like, damn, I would have dressed up like Danhausen if they'd let me be part of that skit. I'd have done it.
Yeah. There was a couple guys taller than you in that there, Tony.
Oh, yeah,
you're pretty short, dude. You could pull that off.
There was one of the shortest ones that was in the front that had the biggest smile on his face. He was just
Marcus, you might know the answer to this. Marcus, do you think any of those micros were from?
I don't know. I haven't seen them yet. Tony told me I need to make sure. I need to look at it to see if I know.
You need to look.
Even my wife was like, "Boy, Marcus is going to really."
It wouldn't surprise me.
I was wondering because I watched it back. I was wondering if one of them might have been Psycho.
Yeah,
I just
would think so.
A week and a half ago, he never said anything about it, but maybe they just talked to him, or he wasn't allowed to say anything about it.
Well, he didn't tell anybody ahead of time about the Cena thing either, and that's why he's so professional too. Because don't let the cat out of the bag.
Do you think they'll let Danhausen bring his jar of teeth?
He normally has it with him.
Well,
he's had him on Raw.
He's already had it on Raw.
I haven't seen him.
The very first time he came out on the pay-per-view, he had his jar of teeth. He gave them to Michael Cole.
Yeah.
I was there.
Michael Cole's freaking out. Michael Cole's freaking out. What the hell is this?
I was there. It was a weird night, man. Yeah, that arena did not give a shit that first night. He was like, I was in the room. So, yeah.
Real quick, Warren, I wanted to get your take because I already had a meltdown on this on the air and it wasn't planned. When AEW, we was doing our wasn't even our wrestling show. It was our hot seat with OG Tony. I've got the TV on, and I knew I was 99% certain that he was going to win the belt. He was going to win the belt. But the way they did it, how they did it, and I was against him winning the belt, not because I don't think he's worthy. It wasn't that. But now if it's true that MJF may be leaving, then I understand. But things have just been so hot with MJF. I think it's a mistake for that belt to go off him. That was my opinion. I had a meltdown on the air, the way they did it. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
He was going.
Yeah, I had a meltdown, no doubt about it. I mean, 4 coffin drops and you pin the dude in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I hated it. I hated it.
I mean, seriously.
I hated it. I mean, absolutely hated it.
Marcus, did you like it?
I didn't see it. I don't watch AEW, but I heard about it, and I don't agree with having your champ go forever and ever and ever being a champion, and then the person that takes the belt off of him wins it within 30 seconds, 2 minutes. That's just bullshit. That just tarnished MJF where he comes back to. Look what happened to Flair when Perfect pinned him. He almost didn't get back in WCW because he got pinned.
Yeah, they were mad at him.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't happy with the squash style. I'm okay with Darby winning it, just because, like I've said, I can see the steps they're going to take now, because they're going to have Darby. You're going to get some fresher championship matches now. You're going to get a more stylistic Darby versus, because they set it up. Ciampa said he wanted in. Kevin Knight on that show said he wanted in.
Well,
so you're going to get some fresher people in that picture leading up to the pay-per-view, where Omega's going to get in. Omega's going to win it. He's going to carry it till they go over to England, and him and Will are going to have it out. They set it all up with the locker room discussion they had.
Yeah.
But no, the way it happened was trash. And like I've said, I will call out either federation. I like both sides. I will call it out. And that was trash. Now they do have a history. They do have a history of MJF getting squashed. Because remember, Brody King beat the tar out of him.
Well, at least Brody's 6 foot.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But when you see and how it went, I mean, I would have liked to have seen maybe a little more. I don't know if because I mean, honestly, too, what I feel with Darby is I feel Darby doesn't have the wrestling chops. I think he's just such a hardcore guy. I wonder if they were trying to cover that up, that he really wouldn't have the ability to wrestle with MJF in the ring, because like I said,
then they shouldn't have been in the ring together then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they had to. I think they wanted to move off and try and see where they go with this. And if MJF takes time off, he takes time off. It could open a Hangman Page thing now.
Well, let me ask you guys this. If it was not WrestleMania week, would they have switched the title?
I think so, because I think this was planned for a while, because it was in Washington, in his home,
maybe
in his home thing. So I think they would have. I really
switching the title the way they did got everybody talking about AEW during WrestleMania week instead of WWE for a few days. But I think the only way you're going to know if it was a good move or not is what the follow-up is.
Yeah, it's all about the follow-up. It's going to be
with it being AEW, probably not going to be a good follow-up.
It's gonna be Ciampa's gonna wrestle on Wednesday night for the belt, so they've already made that match.
They'll probably switch it again then.
There's some people thinking that Ciampa's gonna win, so who knows?
Yeah, Darby's been there since day one. He'll have it for a minute, but I'm okay with Darby having the belt. I don't really love how they did it. I think I understand why they did it, but it should have been a legitimate match.
Yeah, have a 10-minute match and and have some back and forth. I wouldn't have had a meltdown.
If you were going to do the squash, why not just do it in the very beginning when he talked about it?
Yeah.
It was AEW's Goldberg Hogan. Same thing. Goldberg's hometown on Nitro squashed Hogan. Darby Allin in his hometown Dynamite squashed MJF.
So is MJF? Has it been confirmed that MJF is taking time off?
No, because he's teased that he's not. Someone said about a movie, and he made a comment no. He basically said nope.
I think it was just a booking decision. I think it was just a booking thing. Is all it is.
To me, the ratings were starting to go up. The ratings were starting to go up. Why take the title off MJF now when everything was finally going in the right direction?
Yeah, I think
it's
awful risky.
Yeah,
it's awful risky because
they may feel that MJF is hot enough that they can just always reignite it. That he's the kind of guy that you can just boom, you can reignite him and go out there and he's going to get it. That he's not going to lose it.
I know.
Yeah, we'll see.
But Reggie said it's all about the follow up.
Yeah. Which won't be good because it's AEW.
Well, see, I'd like the last pay-per-view pretty well.
Oh no, the pay-per-views are always great. Just their TV isn't.
Yeah, the last pay-per-view wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it. Other than being too long, but I'm an old man.
Dude, if they did only pay-per-views like TNA did, they'd be one of the greatest wrestling companies in the world. But their weekly TV is not good.
Well, that's one reason they got the contract that they got. It's because the pay-per-views, and people say, "What's it got to do with TV?" The people that made that contract with them they get 10 to 15%
Well,
of pay-per-view.
somebody
They
knows
get
what they're
10 to 15% of the pay-per-view. So they made that deal. That's how they got that deal, because I don't think they was going to get it on a straight TV deal as good as that. So they got part of that pay-per-view.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think it's going to be interesting once Paramount takes over and all that Saudi Arabian money comes over, because everybody always bitches
see.
about Saudi Arabia. Guess what? They're going to be a big part of AEW now, because Paramount's going to have that. So it's going to be interesting. All right, guys, that's all I got. You guys got, well, Reggie, I do. I definitely want you to tell us what you got going on. Know a lot of great WCWO things going on.
Oh man,
So won't you
guys,
tell us about that?
I'm going to make some announcements. I'm going to give you guys the scoops right now, for real, legit. I'm going to announce stipulations for this Friday's show.
Okay.
We got Final Destination this Friday night at the Outlaw Arena. Lots of killer matchups. We'll start with the non-title matches. The returning Logan Myers taking on Zach Nova. Nobody a month ago saw that one coming. And the look on Zach's face when I brought Logan out was amazing. If I could relive that moment every night for the rest of my life, I would. Because he was finally speechless. So Zach Nova and Logan Myers, that's happening. Johnny Blaze and Pogo, one-on-one this Friday night. That's happening. And if anybody's been paying attention, Brody Bodkins and Andre Stray has got very personal very quickly. Guys, I'm making that a dog collar match.
Oh, shit. I may have to go.
Oh, it gets better. You got IK3 versus Mike Noble. So that's happening. We're all excited about that. Who doesn't want to see Mike Noble get roundhouse kicked in the face? Come on.
Definitely.
We're all here for that one. And then as far as the title matches go, you got the tag team titles between Rampage and Slaughterhouse. Guys, it's a body bag match. Yes, that's happening. Let's see here. You got the Gunslinger Championship between Mark Magnus and Phoenix. Phoenix got what he wanted. I'm going to make it a no disqualification match. Anything goes. And then our Outlaw Championship between War Ready Malenko. I've recently been told by Malenko that War Ready is actually part of his name. I thought it was a nickname. Apparently, it's not. It's just War Ready Malenko. So Mr. War is going to be taking on Cameron Saturn in a submission match.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Hey, Marcus, this sounds like maybe a show of the year candidate. Could be.
Sure sounds like that.
Gonna be good.
Show.
You gotta love
But
a show.
we are 2 weeks away from PopCon, which is May 8, 9, and 10. 3 huge days and nights of wrestling on top of our normal Friday night show. Indiana Comic-Con, June 6, 7, and 8. Or sorry, 5, 6, and 7 in June. The Bachelor Memorial. And then, Marcus, you have a list of names because August 22nd, Thunderstorm 2 goes down at the Edison School of the Arts with, if you thought we brought the names the first time around, oops, we did it again, but bigger.
Yep, I talked to Joey. I'm allowed to announce them.
Yes.
The Rhino will be in the house, former ECW champion. Gangrel will be in the house. The Rascals will be in the house. Rob Conway and the one and only Shark Boy.
Yes.
On August 22nd. Tickets are going to be soon, if not already. Front row seats are 20. The rest of the floor is 15, and the bleachers are 12. Get them early, because if it was like the last one, people are down the block at bell time.
Oh yeah,
Around the block and down almost
nuts.
at bell time.
I remember I went outside to smoke. I came back in. I told Marcus and Dad, I said, they're lined up about 2 blocks waiting to get in here.
Yeah, I think it was rated too, wasn't it?
Yes.
They were pretty flashy that night.
Yeah, somebody was like, the line's around the building. I'm like, no, it's not. Oh my God, it is. I still have the video. Like,
yeah.
It was nuts. One thing I've learned about Joey is he's not afraid to swing for the fences. And when he goes big, he goes massive. And you know, that's one thing that sets the dub apart from all the others is everybody brings in the names, but we like to stand out. And I can't think of a better way to stand out than Thunderstorm 2. And I remember when Joey said we're doing it again, I was like, oh God, it was such a long day and night. Let's fucking go.
And the first one was so good. It's like, man, how do we top that first show?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
That's some damn good names there.
I mean, people got to remember, me and Joey and Wes, we were at the Edison School of the Arts at 5:00 that morning doing news. Yep. And like all morning. I mean, by the time I got to bed, I'd been up for like 18 hours. So
and then had the unrated show right after.
After that, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we got back to our hotel. It was almost 4 a.m. when we got back to the hotel that night.
Yeah, who thought doing a midnight show was a great idea? Fucking let alone 2 of them. So, but it's going to be a fun year. It's our roster is really coming into its own. A lot of guys are starting to really figure out who they are and what works for them. See Maliko turn into the champion he's turning. Apparently, he doesn't just hate bold wrestlers. Apparently, he hates marriages now too. Apparently, I don't know if you were there a couple weeks ago, Marcus, when he went into the ring and just like tore down every single guy who was in the ring about how they didn't deserve to have a shot at him, and none of it made any sense because no one can understand what the dude is saying half the time. Except for Gabrielle Rosewood, she's the Maliko whisperer. Apparently, I don't know.
Well, we ought to get shirts that say that.
Don't get her merch. Yeah, speaking of how every promotion has its flaws, ours is Gabrielle Rosewood. Yeah.
Man, sounds going like it'll be a hot summer.
Yes, it's going to be a good year, guys. It's going to be fun, and we really do appreciate all of you guys' support. Anybody who's watching right now, appreciate your support. The fans are the only reason that kept us going through everything. The only reason we continue to do what we do. And when that place is packed, man, it's a whole nother type of place.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. Greatly appreciate it.
No, it was not a pleasure to have you. I hope you stub your toe when you walk in, and I hope everyone gets in your way, and you just have a horrible evening. Just because
you don't mean that. You don't mean that. We all know you don't. We all know you don't mean
Reggie,
that. But when I see a crowd surfer kicked out and escorted out of the building, I'm going to pretend it's you.
Well, you guys got
favorite, Reggie. You're my favorite.
What time does the show start tonight?
It started at 6:30.
Oh well, that's not good. Well, let's let him get out of here.
Hey, I keep my bookings, guys. I keep my bookings.
What time 7 does start?
9:30.
9:30.
Okay.
The preview goes on in about a half hour, so I'm good. Yeah, we're good. I made sure I had time to do this. So
okay. Well, we appreciate you. I know you're a busy guy, so again, we appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have you on again. Definitely have you on again.
Anytime, guys. Just let me know.
Marcus, you got anything before we get out of here?
I don't believe so.
Warren?
I think I've said everything I need to say, believe it or not.
No, that's never true.
Yeah. Not enough time in the evening. We got Reggie. Yeah. We got to get Reggie out so we can start doing photography. But portray you there. Hats off to the bull. So,
everybody have a great night. Appreciate everybody watching.
Please
see you guys Friday.
Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Follow WCWO Wrestling on all our social media, and we'll see you guys next time.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Here, this is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying try to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.